Welcome back, guys. This is Matty Baseball 2019 MLB preview smorgasbord. We just did my favorite six over under bets for win totals for the season. Hopefully, I did better on it than I did last year, 2-4. But yeah, so we're moving on though, and wanted to give you a quick rundown of the 10 teams that I'm picking to make the playoffs, quickly, who's going to win each division, and some regular season awards picks, which I like to throw out there, but at the same time, like, I'm not even really picking who I think is going to be the best, because it just storylines are fabricated, and they end up pushing who wins these awards, and people overvalue how much a guy can do to help his team win. I don't want to get into a big spiel about it right now, but I have no problem voting for a last place person for MVP, because it's just a false concept that a guy can carry a team in baseball over 162 games, whether it's one starting pitcher like Jacob deGrom and his team's only scoring 1 run per start for him, or whether it's just a third baseman, whether Alex Rodriguez on those bad Rangers teams or Manny Machado on San Diego. Like, I mean, I'm not picking Manny Machado. I'm not saying he should win. It's going to come down to the numbers. It's going to be who did the best. He should not be disqualified for his team only if the Padres only win 75 games. I understand it says most valuable player, but it's just, it's not a real thing. Like, I mean, in basketball, it's one thing when it's five guys in the court and you can dominate the ball, get extra shots. You're not in this revolving list of, you're not actually taking turns every time like you are in baseball, where you got to go through a batting lineup. There should just be it should just depend on the sport. You should look at it, and I just think that it should be different, for baseball. But anyway, okay. So you can read, I have one of my favorite columns that I did correcting previous, MLB awards, mostly Cy Youngs and MVPs. But that was a lot of fun, and I kind of talk about some of the logical fallacies that, were used during some of those years. So anyway, the playoff teams. All right. So, American League, not nearly as much disputing this. The Houston Astros look pretty primed in the AL West right now. They've lost, Dallas Keuchel appears he's not coming back. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, he's got a late start. He has been working at the Scott Boras Institute of Douchebaggery, or whatever the hell, that was. And then Lance McCullers out for the year. Charlie Morton went to Tampa Bay. But I think they're clearly the number one team, and Seattle's taking a step back with moves they made in the offseason. Oakland, not going to be a 97-win team again. So Houston, mostly going to cruise in the West. AL Central, talked about it earlier. The Indians are just gonna run roughshed over everyone. So only one playoff team in each of those divisions. I could thought, Minnesota I'm not there with, but like, it's not inconceivable, but I don't think so. The Angels I thought about as a wild card team. I think, people were perhaps a little early on them, but they got a number of good players, and pitching staff's all right. Tyler Skaggs emerging. Matt Shoemaker's gone. But So I got three teams from the American League East, and you could probably have guessed that's the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Rays. Toronto's going to be pretty bad. They got some interesting young players: Billy McKinney, Lourdes Gurriel. Oh yeah, and Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Yeah, he's been hyped up a lot. Not starting the year, but probably pretty soon. Will be with the club late April, something like that. But I'm going with the Rays. They just find a way to manufacture wins throughout a season. I picked the under on them last year. It was a devastating mistake. Winning 90 games. I don't know that they're going to win 90 games. I don't think you have to win 90 to win a wild card this year in the American League. I think it's going to be more like it was a couple of years ago, where Minnesota like 85, and then really no one else was even that close to them. It's really just those few teams at the top of the American League are just laying the smackdown on their counterparts. So, and I like the Yankees slightly to win the division. I thought about changing that pick with the stuff around Severino, but it does seem like he is now progressing naturally the way he should be. Other injuries, not really worried about. CC Sabathia, I think it's, he's dealing with the suspension, though, the great suspension where he hit, I think it was Sucre. Because he's got his teammates back. That's CC Sabathia. He's got his teammates back. He's a good man. But over the long season, I do still think they have more than enough starting pitching now, and the difference in bullpens. Red Sox obviously not just losing Craig Kimbrell, but they're losing Dusher that started that brawl early in the season. Joe Kelly, he's gone. He went to the Dodgers. And, Red Sox still very dangerous lineup, 1 through 5. Other hitters, Rafael Devers, Steve Pearce. Can't believe he won the World Series MVP. He shouldn't have won, by the way. David Price should have won. But that's fine. He still played well, so it's not like, it's not completely illegitimate. But so yeah, that's my 5. So Yankees, Indians, Astros division winners, and then the Rays and the Red Sox. Red Sox being getting to host the Rays in the 1-game wildcard playoff. Yeah, all the other AL teams are pretty much trash. We talked about some of them a little bit, but yeah, the National League, there's a lot more in doubt. I'm going to go with the Dodgers to win the NL West once again. Wanted to pick the Rockies. They actually have the pitching for once. But I still got to go with the Dodgers. Rockies will be right there, though. NL Central is going to be very tough. I'm going St. Louis 1. St. Louis make the playoffs for the first time since 2015. If they were to do that, but adding Paul Goldschmidt, I think their starting pitching is underrated. I really like that team. They turned things around a lot after Mike Matheny was fired, and they brought in Schultz. I know not a ton of Cardinals fans, but there's not positive feelings about Mike Matheny. And Schultz was good enough that they made him the manager. So I think they're going to carry that momentum in with the good offseason they had, and not only trading for Paul Goldschmidt, but they locked him up. This is not a Toronto Raptors Kawhi Leonard thing where it's, are they just throwing the dice at it for this 1 year and not really sure if he's coming back. Paul Goldschmidt, they signed to a 5-year, $130 million deal, something like that. I'm going Cardinals. I'm going Cardinals 1, Cubs 2, Brewers 3. Brewers just don't have the pitching for me to trust. They will hit. But But especially with the bullpen injuries, I think Craig Kimbrell would be they're being talked about as the Craig Kimbrell team. That would be nice. But Josh Hader's still there, but I think it's likely that the Brewers are going to fall off a little bit. And then I got Reds 4 and Reds 4, Pirates 5. And then on that note, in the West, I have I'm going to go Padres 3, Diamondbacks 4, Giants 5. Is my back order for that. For the NL East, obviously Marlins are last. The other 4 are almost interchangeable, but I think there's I'm definitely going with Washington. I think they have the best all-around team over 162 games. Having Juan Soto for the full year. I mentioned earlier in the over-under that 1 through 3 in the rotation is as good as anything. If they're healthy, Anibal Sanchez being added there, maybe not as good of a year as he had last year when he had a nice comeback year, but not a bad back end of the rotation guy. So I think they're going to be really good. The Braves, I'm not sure about the Braves or the Phillies pitching, especially the Braves. And then I got the Mets 4th, with problems in their lineup still, but they're going to be better for sure than they were last year. And then, so the wild cards are really tough. I gotta go Philly. Philly is one of the 2 wild cards, and I've picked against the Rockies 2 straight years. I didn't want to pick against them 3 straight years, and I am really coming around to them, and they locked up Nolan Arenado. But I think the Rockies are going to be 6th, and the odd team out, I got the Cubs getting revenge, I guess, by edging them out just in terms of the standings. So I got Nationals, Cardinals, Dodgers, Phillies, and Cubs as the wild cards. I would probably go Rockies as the next highest team, and then the Brewers. That's my 10 playoff teams. And then really quickly for the awards, NL manager, I'm going with Mike Shildt for the Cardinals. Not a lot of numbers we can throw out there, but they did much better. As I mentioned before, they did much better after he took over last year for Mike Matheny, and it's just about storylines. It's going to be him or Dave Martinez, just based on how I see things unrolling. Dave Martinez in Washington. Wow, they're doing it without Bryce. Oh my God, they're winning the division. What is this? For the people that are going to be surprised by that, obviously I'm picking them. I don't see it being Joe Madden at this point with the Cubs. And Dave Roberts, the Dodgers would have to win like 106 games, I feel like. Which is not unthinkable, but I'm not picking it. And then in the American League, I'm going to go with Terry Francona. AJ Hinch, the Astros almost becoming old news, settling into being a great team, but I don't think they're going to be as dominant as this year as they were in past years. So I don't think he would get the vote. I have the Yankees winning the division. I don't know about Aaron Boone winning that. I think he probably, depending on how good they were, I think they're like a 98 win team. I think they'd probably have to be better under him. And then pretty much all the other American League teams suck. I mean, Kevin Cash, who I probably should have won the award last year. But I'm going to go Francona though, Tito in Cleveland. NL Rookie of the Year, Victor Robles, for the Washington Nationals. I'm going pretty heavy on Washington as being a great regular season team this year. We know how it ends up for them in the playoffs, but till then, they'll be celebrating some wins, I think. AL Rookie of the Year, I got to go with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Seems like he probably would have won it last year if he was called up, if he didn't get hurt later in the year. But I mean, there were some good rookies, but he's I'm very excited. He seems like he's gonna be fantastic. NL Cy Young, I'm gonna be more boring on this. Max Scherzer. I'm suspecting that DeGrom's gonna fall off just enough, and then not really sure about a real contender if Max Scherzer has a typical Mad Max, like 230 dominant innings. Aaron Nola, Herman Marquez. I don't know. Yeah, I'd go with Scherzer. In the American League, I'm going with Trevor Bauer. Indians. That rotation, I think this is going to be. He could have won it last year if he stayed healthy, and I think he goes up even slightly another level this year if that's possible. And on a note, he would be the fourth different Indian starting pitcher to win a Cy Young since 2007. Sabathia, Cliff Lee, Kluber winning 2, and then now Carlos Carrasco could win. Maybe Mike Clevinger. Just give it to one of them on the Indians. I feel like, I mean, Justin Verlander will be up there. Blake Snell, who won it last year. I love Blake Snell, actually. But I'm going to go Bauer. I'm going to go Bauer for this one. NL MVP, sticking with the storylines. Juan Soto being the new king of DC. I think he's awesome. He's going to have a big year playing the whole way through. 20-year-old MVP. I'm feeling it. It could be Acuna if the Braves won. It's stupid, but I'd go Juan Soto as my pick for NL MVP, and then for the AL MVP, Aaron Judge, who very easily could have won it 2 years ago, got hurt last year. I think he's gonna have a monster year. They're gonna overtake Boston. Mike Trout could win because he should win every year because he's the best. Or Jose Ramirez, my guy. Francisco Lindor. Well, Aaron Judge is really my guy. But other than the non-Yankee Jose Ramirez, Mookie Betts obviously still up there. Number of candidates, but I'm going to go Aaron Judge. And that's my playoff teams, division winners, awards section. Thank you very much. Coming up, who's going to win the World Series?